Hello, and welcome to the podcast that discusses all things gaming. Coming to you from the home of Indie PopCon, GenCon, and the gaming capital of the world, we are the Established Facts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 178 of The Established Facts.
You said that so somber.
Well, I was thinking about the fact that it's really close to 180.
Is that
this is our 7th anniversary.
We could do like a 100 around the podcast in 180 days.
We started
180 episodes.
180 episodes.
You're giving away all our tips.
No,
What?
there's
That's
no
not
tips.
a tip.
Not a tip.
That's not a tip.
Trick?
It's a strategy for having to listen to us over
Fact.
a long period of time.
Yes.
Fact?
Hey!
Hey, we found another established fact.
It's a 6-month program
Was that step
of
number
listening
one?
to The Established Facts.
A program.
I'm pretty sure they're
By the
going
way,
to need deliverance
at this
from that
point, I
program
want
at the end.
to wish a congratulations to France for winning the World Cup.
Oh.
If anybody cared.
They sure
4-2.
did win.
They beat Croatia 4-2.
They did win.
Croatia was killing
Vive
it.
la France.
Vive la France.
Vive la France.
Vive la
Oh,
France.
sorry, there you go. See?
Francais is the language.
Should have been.
France is
Should
the
have been
actual country.
Belgium.
Vive la France.
Should have been Belgium.
Should have been Belgium.
Now they're all mad at us. France just turned
It
us
would have been
off.
Belgium, but they got caught up with donuts or
So
something like
didn't
that.
Belgium beat England, though, for third,
For
right?
third place,
Yeah.
yes.
Third place,
That
yeah.
happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not following the World Cup whatsoever, but it was a game,
Well,
and we're a gaming podcast.
Jason is, so.
Oh, there you go.
Boy, and how many soccer/football, Europe, the two people that listen
Yeah.
in
They call it-
Canada.
What's this? Soccer?
Yeah. How many jerseys does he own?
A lot.
Like he had a new one on almost every time he
Well, yeah,
posted
like,
something on
I mean,
Facebook.
While we were in
8?
Europe alone, he bought like 6.
Wow.
Like 5 or 6.
That's
Okay, so what we
incredible.
need to do
He's
is
probably got
have-
like 10.
Go Jason. Thank
Jason
you.
should wear a new football jersey, and then Josh should wear one of his title belts, and we should see who has more. Does Jason have more jerseys, or
And
does
I'll
Josh have
wear-
more title
many
belts?
title
And
belts
I'll
does
wear.
Josh have?
He has
10.
10.
He has at least 10
he's got-
jerseys.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well,
I was
then
gonna
I'll just
say.
show up in a
And
tie.
it'll be way cheaper for him to beat me
That's
on
the
that
only
too.
thing I can
I mean, they may not be as much as the belts, but they're not.
They're not
Cheap.
cheap
either, though.
I just said
I
cheaper.
mean, you know, and most of them are Adidas, so they're like quality. Anyways,
of course.
who's here today, Dawn?
Well, there's no mystery guests. All right, let's go ahead and go around our table and intro. I'll go ahead and start to my left.
Oh, this is Dr. Deb.
This is Josh.
I'm Avital.
And of course, I am the uncontrolling podcast host of The Established Facts. This is your host, Big Don. So, other than being excited about the World Cup, which two people in Indiana are.
In the whole United States are. Okay.
Not the United States. Just Indiana.
Just Indiana. Oh, maybe
can't
3.
speak- we can't
Maybe
speak
3. I
It's
know.
the people
I know
in the
my
bar
friend.
going, "Where's the football game?
That's
it's
right.
on."
That's
What?
right. Yeah. Yeah. 3 people are like, "Where's the football game?" And then everybody else in the bar goes, "That doesn't start till September, bro.
Right, exactly.
Calm yourself. It's preseason."
Yeah, exactly.
It's pre-preseason.
It's pre-preseason.
Andrew Luck just threw his first ball.
Oh, not talking about Andrew Luck.
That's gonna be exciting. Okay. Anyway. So that all being said,
So that's the Sports Center segment of the week.
that's right. Beep beep beep. I can't do the second half of that because of copyright. Yeah. Right. Disney owns that, and I can't hang with that one. Okay. Anyway, so not only are we excited about GenCon, which is in, I believe, almost a little over 2 weeks. GenCon. But I have, Dr. Deb and Josh and Avital freshly back, well, at least, a couple weeks or so from Fear the Con.
And fresh is probably
They've taken a shower since it was.
Yeah, there's been
It's fresh. They're fresh. It reminds me of that deodorant commercial. Are you sure? That's sure deodorant. Yeah. Anyway, Josh, Deb, Avital, how was Fear the Con?
I'd call it enjoyable.
I had a very interesting Fear the Con in that I wasn't actually at Fear the Con.
But you were
played a
present.
game.
I did play a game. Yes,
You were
I was
present.
present in the hotel that Fear the Con happens at. So if that's then yes, I was there. But I didn't actually attend any events at Fear the Con because we had our 3.5-year-old daughter Maggie with us, and we had our at the time 5-month-old, no, almost 6-month-old son Samuel. And so whenever I was going to head down, I kid you not, I tried to head down. Once I was going to come down in Jaffo, and I think I was going to try to come down one more time. I would come and I would get like something to drink and I'd be headed that direction, and then Carrie would send me a text, yeah, Sam just woke up and he's crying, or Maggie wants you to read her a book or something like that. And I'm like, okay. Back upstairs I would go. But it was the trip was very enjoyable for us because even though we didn't do Fear the Con proper, we did go to the Magic House, the St. Louis Children's Museum, which is wonderful. Fantastic. The only problem is it exhausted all 3 of our children because it was so awesome. And the St. Louis Zoo, which was phenomenal. We actually got into the zoo this time as opposed to last year. And
Did
had
you
a
go
great time.
early?
Josh drove us in, so we didn't have to worry about the parking.
Oh, that's good.
Because the parking is an adventure. But once you're in the zoo, it was great. So Maggie had a fantastic time. We rode the carousel. She got to pet a rabbit. She got to pet a guinea pig. Anyway, had a great time. So we'll definitely be doing both of those again when we go back to St. Louis. So, but as for Fear the Con itself, I can't tell you much.
How was the hotel room?
The hotel room was great. It was a nice suite. That, as always, the jury staff is fantastic. So I really have to say they are just wonderful people there, and I'm delighted to go just because it is great to see people. So I saw Adam and I saw Sergeant Dan and I seen all that. So helped Sergeant Dan out on a medical that he needed some medicine. He was not doing well, so helped him out with that. So
good.
I fulfilled my doctor purpose. I know. I love Sergeant Dan. So
Sergeant Dan is
just good people. Just
as they say in England,
people.
I believe, the tits.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That
He's
is England.
the coolest
it's not
dude.
US. Yes, he is. Really
Yeah, it means a totally different thing here.
I mean, we're talking about football. So let's go England. Sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love Sergeant Dan.
Yeah, I do too. So
I think I love Sergeant Dan, but I think I love the relationship between Sergeant Dan and Mikey Mason more. Like the two of them, it's like, you've got Silent Bob, but then you got Jay and Silent Bob, and things just are very different when those two are in the room together.
so true.
I think Mikey walked around the whole weekend like,
Was he
where's
drunk
my
the
next
whole time?
beer?
Yeah, I was going to say, was he completely drunk the whole time? The two times I spotted Mikey Mason, he wasn't completely there, but he was almost there. He was good and tipsy
That's
and
good.
he was pretty.
That's funny.
Pretty, yeah. So I'm like, were you ever sober, Mike? Oh, okay.
I'm going to jump in on that because that jerk,
Which one?
Mikey,
Okay.
Never Ending Dungeon round 1, which was relatively successful for what I'm hearing. $500-$600 if Fear the Con, I think,
That's
was
great.
raised, right?
That's great.
So I'm sitting now, I'm playing this character. We are playing a traveling band that are going to this, quote, Battle of the Bands dungeon, entertaining, whatever. But right at the beginning of the slot, I told Derek, I said, you should go in there and, ask for donations, because I don't know if everyone's aware this is going on. So him and Lance went in there, and about 30 minutes later came back, and he had this pile of cash in his hands.
I
When
I was there for the coming into the room and asking
to get
for
requests,
donations.
Good money.
Apparently, I had drawn the ire of quite a bit of people in there, and particular Mikey Mason, who donated enough to give a challenging encounter. And the only requisite was, when he handed the cash to Derek, was just make sure he knows it's from me. Which in turn meant my character had to fight a giant Mikey Mason.
That is fantastic.
That's terrific. Wow. Thank you, Mikey, or not thank you, Mikey. I don't know how
Yeah,
it
which
went,
which slot was that in? That was
Slot 5.
That's right. Yeah, that slot. I was in a game that Mikey was running, so
really?
I was there and.
Wow.
You
In the room.
saw it firsthand.
So was
Yes.
he sober at any point during Fear the Con?
I don't know. It was funny
Okay.
because we were just
Okay.
sitting there, and then what's his name? The guy we met last year that is from Indy. That we were like, "You're from Indy?"
Yeah, the
like
beer
he
guy.
does brewing.
E.B.
He just
Hunter.
like
E.B.
Yeah, he just comes up and like, I have this for you now, Mikey. And Mikey's like, "All right," and then later he comes up, "Oh, I have now this for you." I'm just
Yeah.
Is he like the beer maitre d'?
Yeah,
Is that
well-
what
Yeah,
ended
pretty
up?
And
much.
apparently next year there will be events associated with, at least like a beer tasting event he's going to do. for one
I
of the
wouldn't mind a
slots.
tasting event. I don't think I'd want
For one of the slots, that's a 4-hour tasting.
That allows people to come
That's
in
a
and out.
lot of beer. Yeah, they'll be coming in and out all right. Of consciousness.
I just tasted.
Come on. Like I went
2,700 beers. Okay.
I mean, I went on a beer tour in Prague, and it lasted like 4 hours. And you know, if you have
That
like,
would be good beer, though.
yes,
Prague.
oh, come on, the stuff Evie's got is
That's
It's
right.
really
Evie
good
does
stuff.
bring us good
Man.
stuff. It's true. It's not Budweiser.
good
it's good
stuff.
I'm not a drinker, but I had a peach something. I don't remember the details.
Is that exciting?
But it was peach, and
It was
a
peach
beer,
and it was alcoholic.
really good.
And it was in
But
a
it was
glass.
beer. It was beer, though. That was the thing. It was interesting. But
So beer the con, I think, is what Evie
You
says.
spread the
He's
beer
thinking
out. You
about
have
it right
snacks also. Snacks are an important part of the drinking beer, so just not to get
now.
Two.
too
schnockered?
slooshy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have some
Slosh.
salt to absorb some stuff.
Yes.
So is that why pretzels are so popular at bars? Ha ha.
Yeah.
Bread and salt.
Bread and salt.
Hey.
Bread and salt. Don't consume a lot of carbs when you are drinking because it will actually elongate the intoxication. Because that's all alcohol is just
A lot of carbs.
Bread.
carbs.
Bread. Yeah.
Bread.
Yeah.
No, so
Fermented
bread.
Liquid, unless it's Guinness, then it's wood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just talking, since we're on the subject, I was just telling Josh I found a new way to drink Guinness.
Oh my.
Really?
Yeah.
I was there when he found this.
It was, well, yeah, because our friend Peter let me try some of his. If you put black currant in it, it is phenomenal.
Where do you get black currant? You just
You can
pull.
buy-
Well,
Black
I went
currants?
to, like, I went
Go to the
to,
store and buy some black currants.
probably, I mean, it's just like,
like grenadine.
Grenadine, yeah, it's just like grenadine or something like that. Putting it in
Okay.
as a mixer. But yeah, it changes the game for Guinness drinkers. And apparently, from what Peter said, in the UK, they do that quite often.
Okay.
Because they, as he likes to put it, are professional drinkers, so they know how to do it right.
They know how to do it correctly, as opposed to us amateur Americans.
Right.
That, you know.
Last couple of things on Fear the Con. Avital did something for the first time.
Oh.
Yep. I ran a game for the first time. It was
Woohoo!
very exciting.
It sounded like it went well from what Josh told me. I wasn't there, but Josh
I was
spoke
running
highly
in
of it.
Quags, which is a really simple, easy to use system. I knew everybody that was at the table except for one person, and he said that if he hadn't been told that it was my first time, he would not have known that. And then he said later to Josh, and then I came up that it was his favorite game of the weekend.
That's awesome.
And
Which
also
is a
that-
huge compliment in
Yes,
general.
yes, it
but the
is.
fact that it was your first game you ran
Yes.
makes it even better.
That I planned his vacation.
She pulled at my heartstrings too because we saved a dragon that was caught in the dam at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was fantastic.
And it was blue.
It was blue.
oh.
It wasn't like a blue dragon per,
It was a
Pathfinder
Pathfinder
D&D.
Right?
It was a water type dragon, but it was blue. Yes.
But it was blue.
That it was blue.
My favorite moment of the con was when the kid that always joins us for the Doctor Who game was playing. They were all playing fantasy characters, and he was the wizard. But he immediately went D&D, the animated series wizard.
Oh, my gosh.
He was pulling stuff out. Presto.
Yeah.
He was pulling stuff out of his hat.
Rod of Wonder hat.
And then
The last scene, right after the Doctor gets shot,
so good. It was so
he goes, he pushes 8 yum-yums at me and after he asks me, the TARDIS can change size, right? I go, yeah. Shoves 8 yum-yums at me. Lance throws 2 more. He goes, I want to pull the TARDIS out of my hat.
It was so good.
He just shoved all it. Well, yeah.
10 yum-yums,
There's 10
yeah.
yum-yums in front of me.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want right
do
now.
whatever you want at the
He
moment,
He
kid.
pulled it out and then materialized over the top of the Doctor, and the story continued. And
It was wonderful.
next year, the Avital will be playing the Doctor, and Adam will be playing the companion,
I will be playing the Time Lord.
the Time Lord. Yeah, they've worked
There's
going
going to be a little variation
Yeah,
on.
it's going to be pretty funny. 'cause
Yeah,
That's
really
awesome.
great.
It's as if the Doctor had become human, and as if
Or
the
Mortal
companion
Gallifreyan,
had become
you're gonna
Time
say.
Lord. And now they got to figure out if this is permanent, if something has happened, is this retransferable? It's going to be interesting.
Maybe the companion is actually Gallifreyan and never knew it.
Well, there was also shenanigans with
There was.
this cat that had 9 lives and a thing
She had a Gallifreyan tattoo
that
she-
gave her 9 lives.
She tried to
and
use
she tried
it
to. She didn't. She doesn't know the doctor could be healed, and he had been shot or could regenerate, and so she pulled it off of her and tried to stick it on him. Missed him. Got
hit
me.
Oh.
So there's also that, which
I like
earlier,
this. I like where
earlier
this
in
is
the
going.
game we had said, oh, next year Avital, you should play the doctor and Adam should play the companion, and then just because of
And then Kismet happened. That's great.
it just worked out
That's great.
That's terrific.
There
Yeah.
you go. GM tip number 1: listen to your players.
GM tip number 2: always eat.
Always eat. Jeez,
always eat.
interesting tip.
You know,
Hail, hydrate.
hail, hydrate, hail, hydrate.
Ah, on to the next segment of the
Transition.
podcast.
That's right. So
Not so subtle.
now that we've kind of wrapped up our review for Fear the Con, of course we did our previous episodes were some review episodes for PopCon, which I think we all had a pretty good time at.
And if you haven't picked up Mage Quit from Bowl Cut Studios, do it. Tell them the Established Facts sent you.
Yeah. That game looked
Every episode needs to have a flavor
incredible.
now.
I've
looked
got it.
so
We're
much
gonna have
fun.
to play it
Okay,
later.
well we might just do that.
What flavor is this episode? Because it's now an episoda.
Well, if it's Josh, it's grape.
No, apparently it's black currant already.
Blackcurrant, hey,
yes.
berry.
Black
It's just
currant,
berry.
A black currant episode.
It's mixed berry.
It's
No,
the
black
berry
currant,
facts.
because there are a lot of episodes, so we have to be very specific
Oh,
with
that's
the
true.
flavor. So it's,
That's true.
this
I
is the
see.
black currant
This is the
episode.
blackcurrant episode.
I'm all right with that.
Episoda.
had a
episode,
black
the
currant
black currant
handle
episode
before, so I
of the
think a
Established
soda
Facts soda. Wait, what?
All right.
Anyways,
So, right, trademark pending.
hashtag.
You might act, hashtag black currant. Oh.
So we, this is Blackcurrant Productions. Anyway,
Black robot. production?
that was
No.
Casting current? It could mean a variety of
I want to cast black currant. What does that do? It puts a little pill of a little bottle of black currant right in front
a
of you
vial
and you
of.
stare at it.
There you go, a vial.
Violet.
It gives you a vial. It's a juice box, people. It's a juice box. Oh, that's right. Gamer tip number 3: never forget your juice box.
Anyways, yes.
Yeah. So,
Let me transition.
that's right. At the beginning of
segue.
August, we will be attending. I almost said attending.
How do you O10 something?
Bartender.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're going to try it.
Okay.
We're going to see what happens. We are attending GenCon 51. 51. GenCon. No, that would have been a fun theme. Area 51, GenCon 51. If they'd have done like sci-fi, spacey stuff, that'd have been neat.
No, this year's theme is no pre-order pricing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's way more depressing.
And $70 True Dungeon that remarkably didn't sell out this year.
Probably because it was $70.
Wonder how that happens. Anyway, so Gen Con is coming up. We're actually really excited about Gen Con.
Yes, we are.
We always get really excited about Gen Con, especially when we look at the calendar and go, wow, that's only 19 days away.
Yes.
This is
Time to
going to
get
be
excited.
fun. So we're going to do our customary. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday to the Established Facts. We have now been. This is our seventh anniversary. We've been recording now for 8 years.
For a year. Okay. Yeah. So our seventh.
That's how that. By the way, that's how that works.
Yes. Your first one is not an anniversary.
It's not an anniversary.
1 year after is an anniversary.
That's right.
So yeah.
So we are math.
We've been recording this for 8 years.
That's right. Yeah, and somehow
And somehow-
people are still choosing to listen.
Somebody is.
Somehow we are still choosing to record.
Right. Whether
That's really the key.
Yeah.
We never really cared if people listen.
That's true.
We
Yeah.
do. We love you.
We love you.
Keep listening.
We please.
Well, originally it was just we're talking about this. Let's see if somebody else cares.
That's right. That's right. And lo and behold,
Somebody does.
3 people.
That's right. 3 people.
3
I
people.
think it's 4 now.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
Well, for our 7th birthday, we got one more listener.
Happy birthday.
We at least got one person involved. Her Starbase Indy in November. They want us involved.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought they wanted you guys involved.
They
like
want
improv.
they want both. No, they want both. Excuse me. Casting Robot Productions will be out in full force / if we're available.
Are we even available?
Yeah, when
I'm
in
available.
November is that?
It's the Friday, Saturday,
It's the
Sunday. after
23rd,
Thanksgiving.
24th, and
Oh,
25th.
okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Is it the
I'm
23rd,
like-
24th, and 5th, or is it just the 23rd,
I know it's
24th?
a Friday, Saturday.
It's at least Friday, Saturday. I've been to Starbase India like once.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the Saturday.
Our goal,
We actually-
we're actually meeting with Starbase in a week
Sweet.
with BA, and we'll figure out what
Yeah.
they want.
Breakfast
Same
anytime.
Oh.
And I never know what Thanksgiving plans are with everybody until close because
Sure.
it varies wildly.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't
and
know
and
either because of our building
Thanksgiving
house situation.
falls on our friend Mike's birthday this year.
Oh yeah,
22nd.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the time to talk about birthdays since we just talked about Mike's birthday and the podcast birthday. If this podcast comes out tomorrow, it's coming out on my birthday.
Hey.
Go
And
me.
there was much rejoicing.
I'm alive still.
You made it. You really, really made it.
That is your next. That is the hallmark. Happy birthday! Congratulations on still being alive.
Yes. I want a cake that says that.
All right. GenCon.
Yeah.
I need to play that song from Portal.
We already we already have given you some tips. Eat food.
Yes.
As always, hail hydrate.
Hail
Always
hydrate.
Stay hydrated. Water is good.
We're just let's just spitfire
Standards.
a bunch of
Okay, well, I have one thing to
Go
say
for it.
about hydration. Okay, so
Involves
I know
water.
a lot of people
electrolytes.
don't like drinking water. I understand that. Whatever you do, at least drink something. Like soda is not the best thing. However, soda is better than nothing.
Correct.
True.
At least drink something. There are much better things to drink than soda. But if you can't drink water and it just doesn't appeal to you at all, at least be drinking something.
When you are putting your food / ditty bag together for GenCon, one thing you could do if you're worried about tasting nasty city filtered water or whatever, because they've got water coolers everywhere, just grab a pack of those like Kool-Aid packet things,
Yeah,
or
they're
Crystal Light, or there's tons of flavors.
If you
of
like
stuff.
Gatorade, they have the
Yeah.
Gatorade things you can add to your water.
Gatorade actually is not a bad idea either, because
Gatorade is
you're
good
walking
for
around so
replenishing
much,
you, yeah.
don't realize how much moisture you're actually losing through sweat.
Yep.
Because even though they keep the hull at a fairly comfortable temperature, you're still, I mean, you ask anybody who does a mini marathon, even if it's 45 degrees outside, they're still drinking water the entire time, because once you lose certain amount of water from your body, your muscles start to lock up. You get Charlie horses, you get headaches, fatigue, and
How everyone feels at the end of Gen Con.
Nobody, right, and
Hydration.
if it's one thing if you feel that way on Sunday afternoon after 4 days, it's another thing if you feel that on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because you just haven't prepared. So absolutely, drink something. Drink, I recommend. I have a 72-ounce aluminum thermal bottle that I got at Walmart for $15.
Nice.
Now it's a bit heavy, so I mean, I put it in my backpack when I'm walking around with it, but that thing is a lifesaver because you fill it up 3 times a day. Yeah, that's a ton of water. You're drinking a lot of water, and if you want to throw something else in it, you can.
Yeah, Deb and I bought some water bottles earlier this year. Cogna or something like that. Sitting over there, Deb's gonna grab the brand, but we got them at Meijer, I think, for like $10 or $12.
Yeah.
Same type of thing, 32 ounce. They've got a belt clip on them. What'd you say? Contigo.
Oh yeah, I have a Contigo. I used to take to
They're-
work.
They have a belt clip on
Yep.
them, which is really nice to have.
Yep.
You
Clip it to a bag, clip it to your belt
Yeah, because it's a belt
because
clip.
it's a belt clip.
And my issue is that I always end up walking around with someone, Jason, who doesn't like to carry around their own water bottle. And so then I'm like, you need to drink something. And he's like, do you have any water? I'm like, yes, but it's not going to last. That happened in Europe a lot. I was like, drink some water, man.
Yeah. Especially in Europe, I bet you were doing a lot of
I
walking.
need
or,
to make drinking water.
It's all right. The longer you're with him, you'll change him.
I don't know. Jason's a pretty stubborn guy.
Well, it only
I mean,
takes
he's not
one
like a
set
goat,
being
but-
dehydrated and having rhabdomyolysis and muscle cramps. where all of
Okay,
a sudden you go, "Ooh, water."
okay.
What a
Hang
great
on.
comparison.
Okay,
Gamer
doctor.
tip number 4. Short words, please.
Kidney failure.
There
and
we
muscle
go.
Cramps.
There we
And
go.
all of a sudden you go, hey, water's
like,
a good idea.
I don't know
Anyways,
what Gurkha
I think they get the point
maculajolysis
that
is.
hydration is important.
Yes.
Yes,
Very much so.
most definitely.
But yes,
It's flipping August in Indiana.
food and
Wash your
drink.
butt.
God, that's always last.
And
but that we can
the
say it
rest of
early.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wash
well, I mean,
wash
we're gonna
yourself.
Spitfire it. It's important.
Wash your body. At least once. At least minimum one time.
Minimum one.
Even if it
Minimum.
means you pull a Pat McAfee and jump in the canal, wash your butt.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Please
that.
don't
It's
do that.
illegal.
Especially
And
not-
You'll miss GenCon.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to miss
Just don't do
GenCon. Ask the guy carrying the cardboard sign where he takes a shower. If you don't know where one is, there's a YMCA around the corner. Legitimately, actually, that's
Yeah,
not that's
downtown.
if you're not staying in a hotel, if you are a hall camper and you need a place to take a shower, there's a YMCA down there. Or hook up with some friends and say, "Hey, I'm literally going to be crashing in the hall. Do you have a room that I can just freshen up in or something like that?"
Can I
It's not
use your
it's really
shower?
not a bad idea.
Speaking of campers, we've mentioned Gate 10 parking in the past
Oh,
for many
yeah.
different things. They do RVs.
I've been thinking
RV
about
park.
for several years. I've been thinking about actually like either renting an RV or like talking to somebody I might know that has one to borrow it, because I think that would be a lot of
It
fun,
would.
especially because like you said, Gate 10 does Gate 10 shuttles.
They do shuttles.
they
Yeah,
do.
So if you're at the convention center, you can shuttle from the convention center to your camper and then just crash out.
How late
Yep.
do those shuttles run?
They run all night if there's an
During
event
Gen-
going on
during
all
Gen Con
night.
they do?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Because they did for PopCon too.
But remember, tip your driver. Even if it's like if you're working the whole if you're going the whole weekend and you got to drop them a tip at the end. The thing though is that the drivers are always different, and
Yeah,
they're only paid on tips. So a couple bucks
really?
here and there, yeah.
Okay, I didn't
They're
know
running
that.
that, but I mean, when they're moving thousands of
Sure,
people,
sure.
couple bucks, it's a couple $1,000 very
Yeah. I
quickly.
mean, even if it's $5 per person, if you got 20 people in your shuttle bus,
yeah.
that's some bank.
$100,
That's
yeah.
$100 just for one trip. Now, Gate 10, they charge
It's usually by
for
the
the day.
So
Was it-
during the convention, it's usually $15 to $20 a day.
That's what I
like
thought.
if you go at the convention. However, if you order ahead through the system, it's usually a little cheaper. Like
Sure.
a 4 days, like $48 instead of $60.
That's not bad though.
No.
I mean, even $60 for 4 days.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Yeah,
And if
it
you're
is.
talking, I mean, it may be a little bit more expensive for a camper,
Well, and
but
with
I
the
can imagine.
with the convention going into Lucas Oil now, even if you don't shuttle, you can walk to Lucas Oil.
Yeah, it's right. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's a 3-block
right
walk
there.
just from
Yeah.
Gate 10 to
From
the
Gate
entry
10,
to
yeah.
Lucas, but
Yeah.
and that's just the parking
Yeah,
lot.
I have
that
a
thing
feeling
is
that'll
huge.
change over time because they'll realize, hey, if we let people in over here, we can put some stuff up to sell. here,
Absolutely,
you know, but
absolutely.
yeah, definitely
Sure.
check out Gate 10, RV or not. You know, if you driving in, well, if you're staying in a hotel, I'd consider checking out Gate 10 to park your car there.
Yeah.
because instead of paying $20 or $30 a day for the hotel,
Or unless you're staying in like the West End, which I think is 40.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
paying
not
15.
cheap. It is not
And
cheap.
they will shuttle that. They
Yeah.
will do that. They've said
Disney
that
World
before.
includes it when you're even they don't.
No, Disney's charging now. If you're not a vacation club member, they are charging nightly at the hotels to have a car.
Well, never mind.
That just changed. It's
I'm a
only like
DVC member.
$17 a night, but
Sure.
But yeah.
yeah, it's because the reality is that they'll have more cars there than they have spaces.
Yeah.
So now it's more of a deterrent. They're like, we provide all the transportation. You don't need a car.
Right.
Which
Sure.
kind of brings me to another point. Bring a couple different modes of cash or money.
Yeah.
And don't leave it in a
And don't
dice
leave it-
bag on a
yeah.
concession stand.
Well, it was a badge holder,
Okay.
and it fell out. It
So
wasn't like we just.
No, I was talking about your big dice bag. Oh, like.
Oh no, that's not what I lost.
Oh.
It was the cash that was in my wife's badge holder that fell out. But
Don't put anything in something that
that
can
being
fall out.
said, that being said,
Zippers.
especially if you have, I'm not paranoid,
But you're
but
paranoid.
I am careful,
Sure. There is a difference.
and I think that a good idea when you are in a large area with lots of people, whether it be vacation or convention or sporting event, put your cash if you have cash, put your cash somewhere somebody's not going to try and take it. So, I mean, as silly as it sounds, you can put it in a sock. You get, I mean, if you
Ladies, we have a spot that's pretty hard to get
I mean,
to.
you can
We
put
would
it in your
hope. Now, if
brassiere.
you're wearing a chainmail thing, don't put it in your chainmail bikini.
Well, I
okay?
mean, there's
But
double-sided tape. You could just stick your 20 to your chest,
That's
I
true.
mean, whatever works.
That's so
Anyone
true.
could do that technically.
That is
that's
true.
Very true.
That is
Good
true.
point. Yes.
If you want to double-sided tape money to yourself,
Right.
you can.
You
I
can.
wouldn't recommend.
That'd be an interesting cosplay.
Oy.
This is the most expensive armor I've ever had.
Wow. Okay.
It's
Anyway.
literally made of money.
But my outfit is shrinking as I'm walking around GenCon.
Right.
So weird.
But definitely, store your finances in a careful place, and then have a backup just in case. A quick GenCon story. Josh was kind of referring to it. My wife Bonnie and I went to GenCon several years ago before we had kids. So I mean, it was definitely it was several years ago, more than 9 years ago.
Sure.
And we went to GenCon. We had a decent amount of money. We'd saved up a decent amount of money over her tips at work and things like that. And I think we both had, I want to say we both had $400 or $500 a piece to spend on games and the weekend. And we were just going to go all out and have a really good time. And Bonnie and I, first thing we bought was cool GenCon gear, which happened to be our badge holders. Because I see those things all the time when people wear them at different conventions, and I'm like, man, those things, I know that it may sound silly to some people, but I'm just like, I just think that's such a cool thing to say, like, I mean, you're wearing their brand right there, and so I was like, hey, let's go get some badge holders. I think this would be cool. So we went and got our badge holders, and she put her money, I don't remember if I put my money in mine, but she put her money in the zipper compartment of her badge holder, and we went and got food at one of the convention stands, and when she took her money out, she paid, and then she went to put her money back in, and we're not really even sure what happened outside of the fact that when she put the money back in, the compartment didn't get zipped up all the way or something like that, and she literally dropped her money, we don't know where, and it was a good $300 that she lost in cash right there on the spot. And of course, you hope and pray that you'll be able to recover that. Somebody will run into you and say, hey, you dropped this. But really, what we ended up having to do for my wife is she was completely destroyed. Luckily it wasn't the only money we had, but it was definitely a good chunk of money that we had saved. And we went and sat down and ate, and she was, just broken up about it. And I said, we can just write it off. And she said, you know what? It'll be better for me to pretend that I never even had it than to pretend, or than to realize. And I know psychologically that may not be the smartest idea for every situation, but in that situation, that was going to ruin her weekend.
Right.
So she literally had to say, you know what? $200 gone. I just pretended I had it. I never had that money. And the weekend recovered. Like I said, we still had money, but it was a hard, super hard lesson for us. So definitely be careful with your money. Be careful with your things. If you're carrying a backpack that has stuff in it, don't set it down in a big room and not pay attention to what's in it. I would recommend not even being more than 3 feet away from your stuff.
Right.
Because even though you might be there with friends, or you might meet new people at your gaming table that might be really genuine and great people, you can't judge the character of 65,000 people at one time. Yep. And you never know what's going to happen. So, so I mean, definitely take care of your things. Be aware of where your stuff is all the time.
I have another tip.
Go for it.
Have a plan, and in that plan, make sure that there's time to not have a plan.
Yeah.
I think
yes.
we've discussed this in the past. Deb and I like to schedule a lot of things and plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do it this day or this day. But especially with the kids coming, we always make it a point to at least have one block of time that's just either haul time, or we're going to spend time with the kids, or whatever. or we want to demo games during this time, because if you plan yourself into a corner, you won't see anything new. But if you don't plan anything, you're unlikely to get anything you want to do.
You can get lost in the sauce very easily. Yep.
So
The sauce.
have a plan,
It is real.
but in that plan include a lack of plan.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds so strange.
No.
We
I
do that
mean,
at Disney World too, actually,
Yeah.
or we try to.
Yeah, I think to streamline what you're saying, just don't overplan.
Yeah.
Leave yourself some room for new experiences.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really great things to see and do and play and make and experience while you're at GenCon, especially if you're fairly new. You know, we have friends that go in our GenCon group that have been going for 14 plus years. We have friends that have been going for 4. You know, everybody's going to have a very different experience with their GenCon, and if you plan yourself for every little increment of time, you might still have a great time, but you might also miss an opportunity to meet someone new, to play something new, to smell, taste, or make something new. You know, just kind of a lot, or not doing anything.
That's a real thing.
That's something else. I mean, that kind of goes along.
Sit down.
Yeah.
For 30 minutes, just I'm going to sit down. Where? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll sit down in the
Somewhere.
hallway.
Anywhere.
I'll sit down.
I've
yeah.
laid down on a bench
Right.
Yes.
for 30 minutes, and I was like, honestly, that was so helpful.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
It's-
and I know I've talked a few times about a few years ago when I volunteered for a game company, and I was working third shift at the time. So it was like as soon as I was getting off work, I was taking like a shower, drinking coffee, getting to the exhibit hall, and then working all the way through the day on Thursday and on Friday. And had it not been for that hour-long lunch break in the middle of my day to literally grab some snack, sit. I think I don't know, Avital, were you there with me one day? Somebody was with me one day, and I said, I'm not saying you have to sit here for the next hour, but could you set an alarm for 45 minutes from now to come by and check on me to let me know that I still have 10 minutes? Because that gives me time to get up and kind of like wake up and not be so groggy. And had it not been for that like 45-minute power nap that I had, I would have been destroyed. And that weekend was, for me, it was probably one of my least favorite weekends of Gen Con that I've ever had. But that was partly my own fault. And because I had never volunteered, and I was again working a third shift job, and I hadn't been given the time to take off for Gen Con, so it was like it was a nightmare because I was trying to balance working at the con and working my regular job. And like I said, had it not been for me to be able to sit down and have that rest when it came time for me to sit down and play my Pathfinder game, which was already tough because I was falling asleep at the table.
Yes, it was.
Had it not been for that power nap, I would have been completely wiped out. I wouldn't have been able to even sit down and play.
Recommendation for those that do decide to volunteer: if you're going to volunteer, don't work during that time frame because you're going to be working while you're volunteering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially Don has learned that now firsthand. But I think, Don, in the future, I think you might actually enjoy volunteering now that you're not working third shift.
Absolutely, yeah, because I have a much more flexible schedule to be able to take time off from work.
Yeah.
I'm definitely open to the idea of volunteering. You know, we have several of our friends, like the guys that, well, like half the group of the people that we go and see at like BillCon in the fall, volunteer for somebody. You know, whether it's AEG or whether it's Asmodee with Z-Man or somebody like
all they have
that.
to do is put in like 8 hours and they get their badge covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's when
and
you
if you work for the right company, you can get compensated with not just possibly, you know, cash, but also product.
Yeah.
You know, and really cool stuff like that. And they really, most of the companies that are there at Gen Con, especially those who are seeking volunteer help, Slugfest Games is another really good example of it. They will go to the nth degree to make sure you are taken care of as a volunteer. They'll cover hotel costs. They'll cover certain food costs. They'll compensate you with regular wages or with, product or something like that. And if you have a good relationship with those people, it can be a really fun experience. I think part of my issue when I volunteered a few years ago was it was kind of on an emergency whim. Like they needed a couple of extra people and it was like a couple weeks out. So it wasn't anything that I was necessarily prepared fully for. And then, of course, I didn't have the time off for work, and it was just a very rough situation for me. But I totally agree with you that I think that if I were to take the opportunity to volunteer again for somebody else, that it would be a very different experience, and I probably would have a lot of fun with it.
Sort of on that note, it's sort of a downer, but I'm also intrigued to see what happens. Was sad to hear about Mayfair Games selling off the license for everything to Asmodee.
I'm not sad because that means that they're going to continue to be able to produce games that are awesome from Mayfair.
Correct.
But I understand exactly what you're saying.
They sold everything?
Yeah, they were in the process.
Catan went.
Well, they were in the process of actually closing down as a game production company, and Asmodee came in and purchased their game licenses.
Yep.
Okay. I knew Catan went. I didn't realize all.
Yeah,
of those
Catan went
went
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was their big.
Yeah.
That was their big thing, and then Mayfair really pushed Agricola and a couple of other games last year.
Okay.
But they just couldn't make up the momentum shift that they had lost when they lost Catan and a couple other things. Yeah. I think it's really cool though that Asmodee, whether it's savvy business practices or what, they kind of kept their eye on it to say, okay, hey, we want to come in and we want to grab up these games and want to help you guys out, whether it be for our own eventual, profit or not. Because one thing that I hate to see in the gaming community is when good games die because their production and manufacturing dies along with it.
Well, and I think it was GenCon 50, but I guess I'm just now realizing it. Geek Chic no longer being a part of the GenCon scene either is kind of a...
Did you hear what happened with them?
They purchased a company and took on a ton of debt.
Because from what I
this is all hearsay. I've not heard this.
I don't know all the ins and outs. Obviously, there is legal litigation going on. From what I have understood with Geek Chic, they purchased a small manufacturing company or something like that. Maybe it was. They purchased a small company that had some sort of influence in the GenCon realm, just like they did. Apparently, that company did not disclose to them all of their tax debt and things like that. And so they inherited that liability legally, because that's what happens when you purchase a company. Having worked in the state tax area for, a couple of years now, that is one thing that some people may not understand about business. And so they inherited this huge tax debt, I believe, but it was undisclosed to them prior to the purchase.
And that would be where the legal thing was. So
and that would be fraud. It is fraud.
That's fraud,
Yeah.
which...
It's just why it's in litigation.
And that's why it's in litigation.
So, but not having them there is it is a surprise thing, but
it is sad because they are such a cool company and they have so many great products. I will say, though, being a capitalist society, it has allowed for companies like Carolina Gaming Tables and other people like that to come in,
board game tables. I saw
to come in and use that momentum and that popularity of what Geek Chic started, and really kind of make a name for themselves. I'm not taking anything away from what Geek Chic has done and what they have and the product that they represent, but it has allowed for people to come in and kind of make a name for themselves to say, look, Geek Chic's not the only company that does this. We may not have every bell and whistle that they have, but we have some really cool options that you can have.
Well, and for those people looking for game tables, certainly there are tiers of pricing and tiers of quality, and I've not seen all of them, but I mean, some of the people to look out for are Studio 66 out of Michigan, BoardGameTables.com. There's the Ultimate Game Table, which GenCon's been promoting.
Yeah.
Of course, our friends at Carolina Game Tables, which Deb and I have bought 2 of. We may get another one in the future if we want their coffee table. But they have all of those come. As a matter of fact, I think who's the dragon? Wormwood. Wormwood is building one.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
I know. The one with the electric.
So let's talk about the level of geek chic. Anything Wormwood touches.
It's true. But you've got different.
If you're a Critical Role fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They made a table for them for their new series.
Okay.
It is insane.
It's funny how that's all worked out too, because I know Carolina got their streaming table on Geek and Sundry for Ivan's show. I'm totally forgetting what the name of it is right now, but to know that Wormwood's also putting one in for Critical Role, it's almost like it's a sponsorship.
Wormwood's a cool company.
But again, that's what you're looking at. Pricing tiers. Board game tables and Ultimate Game Table are in the lower end, and then Carolina is kind of sitting in the middle, and Wormwood and Geek Chic were up at the high end. And it just kind of came down to what you wanted to do.
And know your price. Know where you're going to fall when it comes to stuff like
the cool thing about all that, though, is that's exactly a big reason about Gen Con. We always talk about the games. But it wasn't until a couple of years ago when we bought this table from Carolina that we had really a kind of firsthand look at where the business side of Gen Con comes into play. Yeah, because that weekend we went to all the Geek Chic, Studio 66, and Carolina to look at game tables.
Yeah,
saw all the different sizes and so forth that went in, and we were able obviously to land on Carolina, but it's almost like you forget that this is a trade show.
It is an industry opportunity.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's really, I know a lot of people who are game developers choose Origins Game Fair to go to kind of demo their game and show off what they have done. And I think Origins, just something that that Dan had told us several years ago when we had him on the show, there is a place for everything. Something that when you look at the gaming accessory industry that shows up at Gen Con, or when you look at the difference in demographic between the Origins Game Fair and Gen Con, there is a reason that Origins is still around. There's a reason that Gen Con is still around. And you're absolutely right. Like, I think that when I think of Gen Con, the first thing I think of is I'm going to go and check out all the new games that are being demoed and check out all the cool promo swag, and I'm going to see people that I really love to see at Gen Con, and maybe I'll run a game, or maybe I'll just jump into a bunch of stuff I've never played before. You don't necessarily think of, hey, maybe I can go shopping for my new game table. Maybe I can go check out. Well, even something as simple as, I'm a Magic the Gathering player, or I play a Dragon Ball Z, and I really want some unique deck boxes to kind of show my appreciation to it, or whatever. Last year I went by. I wish I could remember the name of the vendor, but they do things similar to Geek Chic. They make different stuff, but they make these really cool, not Geek Chic, I meant Wormwood. They make these really cool dice vaults and stuff like that. It's like, to me, I'm a dice bag dude. I'm not going to walk around with, 52 dice vaults because of all the dice I already have. But I can understand the appeal for people, especially people who don't have, maybe somebody only has, I don't know why you would ever want to only have like 3 sets of dice.
Well,
but
I have one full set of dice
Do you really?
and a bunch of D6s that I've gotten for free. So
think about.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like for someone like you, or for someone who doesn't have, I just have
a pile of dice.
I have way too many dice to start investing in dice vaults now.
True. But think about somebody like Mike Massey, who gets literally a box of dice for every character.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. He's the perfect person for a dice vault.
Absolutely.
Because he could get the dice vault, he could put his character label on it, and have this shelf of dice vaults and go,
I agree.
This character.
And if I did that, if I invested in dice vaults, it would probably be for something similar, because I still have dice from like some of my original characters. And I would probably get a dice vault if I ever decided to retire specific dice, which I'm glad I don't have my dice with me because they would be really upset that I said that.
Yeah.
They don't listen to us anyways.
That's true. They don't even listen to me when I'm just rolling them. But yeah, like some of my first characters, Belgos and Robin and some of those guys, like getting a specific dice vaults just for them to be able to just kind of say, here are my boys from way back when. I think you're absolutely right. I think that's a really clever way of marketing something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to throw a quick plug out here. Please go check out Flower of Heaven, Shrine of the Fallen Heroes on Kickstarter by our buddy Derek.
Oh.
It is an Asian-themed module for the Universal Storytelling System 2nd Edition. I'm plugging this for a couple reasons. One, because Derek is our friend, former host of the show, good guy,
friend.
just in general. Mm-hmm. Number two, my lovely wife is actually one of the primary editors for it. And then
It's good. Like, I haven't played it because I have read it.
Yeah.
I edited the module, as at least the trial edit. They might have done a little bit of tweaks after.
and then Derek's husband is the one that wrote it.
Yeah, Derek's husband.
Daniel?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He wrote it.
So, definitely,
I know the new USS book is gorgeous.
It is.
I told Derek that at PopCon. I was like, bro, I saw he had posted a couple pictures on Facebook, and I was like, I saw the cover of your book. It is gorgeous.
It's only $10.
Gorgeous. Yeah. And then he brought us one to put in the draft or to put in the raffle. I almost didn't want to put in the raffle.
You did not want to put it in a raffle. You almost didn't allow it in the raffle. It's a difference.
No, you're right. You're right.
You can not want and still do.
Yeah,
But-
I didn't.
You didn't want to put it in.
I
Anyways.
didn't want to put it in. It was. It's such a gorgeous book, and the system. Again,
It's good. Yeah.
it is.
Still
It's just
wonderfully.
fun. It's just a fun system. And of course, I had to throw in a couple decks of cards in order to.
Well,
you can't have.
No. But I think that they're gonna be there with the Independent Game Developer Network.
Oh, cool! They're
I
going to
think
be at
demo-
GenCon.
I know they're playing a couple of. I know I'm running one of the High Five
Yeah.
USSs. Which, if you're an adult and love crude humor, the High Five adventure at GenCon is always hilarious. So, just pointing that out, and it uses USS. So, that is actually something I'm obviously looking forward to the Pathfinder Society stuff, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing the new High Five adventure that I did not play at Fear the Con this year.
Sure.
So.
Did you not play it at Fear the Con because you were going to be
Yes.
playing it at Gen Con? Got it.
But I learned last year with the Batman ones that it's worth playing twice, even if you've done the same story.
That is very true. Legit.
So,
Well, let's see what I'm looking forward to at Gen Con.
LARP.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because yes, but in a different way than normal. The organization that I usually LARP in, OWBN, One World by Night, isn't running any games at Gen Con this year. Just, I don't know why, for whatever reason.
Shame on
our
them.
local, Indiana-based ones just. I know, like
Take
some
a year off.
of our local storytellers are working on prepping for an event that they're going to be running for the first time in Indiana in October. So
Noted.
It's the first weekend in October. It's going to be an event for
And
Obi-Wan.
this is not the
is Werewolf.
seventh age game
No, this
that
is not
Jason
the
runs.
seventh age game.
Okay.
That's the first weekend in November.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be at that one.
Yes, no,
For
but they're
sure.
running in the first weekend in October, and it's gonna be werewolf or changing breeds, which is
Sure.
all of the shifters, and changeling, which is the fairy. But like mages and stuff can come too. But I'm excited about that. Anyways, but for Gen Con, Jason found a couple LARPs that he wanted to try. We're actually trying 7th Sea for the first time.
Tabletop or LARP?
LARP.
I
Really?
love it. See, oh,
Yes.
I'm fascinated.
So
That sounds
I have
like
to throw
fun.
something like pirate-ish together to wear, which is not going to be hard for me.
No, you'll be fine.
Take your vampire outfit, put an earring on.
No, my vampire is a 24-year-old that makes video games, so it's not really.
Cyber pirate?
Piratey. No, anyways.
Cyber pirates.
He's doing one on Thursday and on Saturday. I'm just going to be doing the one on Thursday. I'm also going to Mikey Mason. We're also on Friday night trying out a Star Wars LARP,
Ooh.
which should be interesting.
Dawn is not happy with you.
playing the specials.
I am.
Specials, more specials.
But one thing that I am super excited about, which isn't exactly a game, is cosplay. I am working on. I have never cosplayed from Dragon Ball Z before. I had never gotten into it before, but Jason and I watched all of Dragon Ball, which is mostly Goku when he's younger, and now we've started it on Dragon Ball Z. But I am working on a Goku cosplay for myself, which like
you helped get one together for your nephew a few years ago,
well
right?
a while ago we threw one together for Asher, and then I had that and I had worn it a couple times, which is kind of I was like it'd be kind of fun to actually do this but as it turns out. I am not using anything from that except like the wrist things, which is funny, because like it was very just thrown together and it was too big for me. And it's funny though, Deb. As it turns out, what I am going to be using for his orange outfit is scrubs.
Medical scrubs. Yep.
Oh yeah.
That I bought off Amazon.
Scrubs
Yeah,
are great
absolutely.
for cosplay.
Yep.
Perfect.
I just
Perfect.
sleeves off, and I have to like make the neck a little bit wider, but
Yeah.
it's already in the right shape, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
And I've been working. worked a lot on styling the wig yesterday because that's one of the big things that's kind of. But it's looking pretty good.
She
But
used rubber cement.
Do you have
just hairspray actually.
Do you have the symbols for the back and
I have the symbol for the front.
The front.
The symbol for the back. I've looked and I haven't found anything as of yet. So I'm not going to worry about it at least right now.
Sure. Have you thought about painting it?
Yeah, but not before Gen Con.
Okay.
Because why I'm super excited about this is that so in the past, not last year, but for the several years before that, my sister let me put costumes together for my nephew Liam, and she would come and walk around on Saturday with me at Gen Con.
Cool.
He was the 11th Doctor the first year.
Yeah.
And then he was
It was
Captain
adorable.
and then he was Captain Mel from Firefly.
yes, he was.
Like I was the 10th Doctor, and then
so
I was
awesome.
Kaylee.
Yep.
And then for 2 years. Last year she didn't come because she was really pregnant.
Yeah, she was very pregnant.
But the 2 years before last year he was Thor. And I wore my steampunk lady Loki.
Yes.
So and now we have Rowan, who is going to be almost 1 at Gen Con because his birthday is August 22nd, so he'll be 11 months. But he is going to be like baby Gohan from like the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z.
With the little bitty
With the little green and yellow like tunic thing,
yeah,
and the little red
the
hat that
hat.
has the Dragon Ball on top.
Oh my goodness.
That's so great.
So he's going to be
awesome.
baby Gohan. Liam is going to be Krillin, which is very simple because he wears the same thing as Goku. So we ordered
Yeah.
a kid's Goku costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll put the dots on his forehead.
Are you gonna shave his head?
No, he'll
Okay.
just have a haircut like right before.
Okay.
So, yeah,
That's
why he's
awesome.
like, we're not going to shave his head. I was like,
That's
I didn't.
You could
really
also
I didn't
do-
expect you to.
You could also do Yamcha if you're looking for a little.
Yeah, but Krillin is short.
Krillin is short. Krillin is short.
But because we found something that would work pretty well, Talia is going to be Chi-Chi, which is Goku's
Oh
wife
yeah.
and
that's
Gohan's
awesome.
mother.
That's so cute.
So we're gonna have
That's
4 of
great.
us walking around, and my parents are also gonna come down and just walk around like for fun and take
Yeah.
pictures and everything.
If your dad
So-
was bald, he could definitely do a Master Roshi, but he's definitely not. Not in any,
no,
not in
he is
any way,
not.
shape,
He is
or
not.
form.
But I'm
And he's way too tall for a Master Roshi.
It's true.
Like, you need
I'm-
a short, bearded, bald
I'm very
guy.
excited about that. Like, I just think that's going to be a lot of fun. And it's funny, like, I had to repair my car, so, like, funds are tight right now, but I'm already, like, thinking about what I can do to make this cosplay even better.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
when
awesome.
I have more time and more money. And I was super excited. I met a cosplayer in Indie PopCon. HDC Cosplay is the, like, their name where you find them on social media, and his name was Tim. But he had a really awesome Vegeta cosplay. Like he made armor.
Yeah.
Like, and
Out
he's a crafter. Like,
Yeah.
he.
Is it Warbler or like?
I am honestly not. I don't think it
Okay.
is.
Is
but
it hard or is it?
I
like,
didn't touch it. And he makes scouters. Like,
Oh,
the things.
that's fun.
And like they light up and stuff.
That's
It's
awesome.
so cool.
That's so awesome.
Anyways, I always love like meeting cosplayers and just like,
Yeah.
oh, look at these awesome things that you do. And yeah, so like, and I've like I've been, talked to him a lot about that. He's like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. And he's actually going to be at GenCon for the first time.
Oh, very cool.
I'm pretty sure that he will have a booth because like he's also like he's like an official like cosplay type guest person.
Got it. Okay.
And so he's doing some different like workshops and things, like workshops about like working with electronics and other different things.
Sure.
But
That's cool.
if I'm lucky, he'll be Vegeta on Saturday,
That'd
so
be
we can get a
cool.
picture.
That would be amazing.
But
That would be
I'll have to
cool.
ask him.
You should-
But
I was gonna say you should hit him up on Facebook.
I'm going
Be
to.
like, hey.
Yeah, or next time he streams.
By the way,
But yeah, but I'm just really excited because like I love doing cosplay anyways, and like it's hard for me to get like people to do group cosplays with, simply because a lot of my friends don't cosplay as much or as hardcore as I do. Like, I know we've
are
done
you doing
like,
Kaylee?
I don't know if I'll be wearing her this year or not.
The next time you decide to do Kaylee, let me know
Okay.
because I'm gonna do Wash.
All right. Well, how about you tell me when you're going to put Wash together, and then I'll wear
Well, I
Kaylee.
already have.
He needs like white pants and a Hawaiian shirt. He should be fine.
I have 3 Hawaiian
And
shirts in my.
dinosaurs.
That's the only thing I really need to get a hold of because I can get them on
Plastic
ThinkGeek. It's the plastic. They have the plastic dinosaurs. Yeah, that's so great.
You know, you have kids. You could probably borrow them.
They don't have the right. No,
The right
if you're gonna
ones.
go with Wash, you got to get
Okay.
you got to get the orange and the blue.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, it was a blue Tyrannosaurus Rex and an orange Stegosaurus, and
Yeah, but like, I'm just excited to just have this little group.
yeah,
And then all of the clothing is mine since I paid for it. So like, if I for some reason want to do Chi-Chi later, I'll have the dress and
There you
stuff.
go.
And although, so
You know what's awesome right now? We just let Avital go for like 5 minutes.
I was just about to say because I'm pretty sure this is the longest Avital has just exclusively talked about what she's excited about for Gen Con ever.
ever. It's talked about anything for an
Yeah.
extended amount of
Yeah,
time.
that's good.
So yay!
And it's your birthday! Yay, you're still alive!
I love cosplay, and I've been working
Yeah.
a lot, really hard on this Goku cosplay, and I'm just really excited about it.
That's awesome.
So it's gonna be exciting to see what it looks like all together.
Very orange.
Very orange. Well, that's yes. Yes.
All right, Deb, it's your turn.
Well, I'm the hardest one because I'm honestly not sure how much.
We know that the World War II game is out. 'Cause
Yes.
there's no way you're going to get a 4 to 8 hour game in with 2 children.
There is no way. In fact, it's even going to be a struggle as to whether I'll be able to do the Pathfinder specials because they don't start until what, 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
And 8 until
Yeah.
1 a.m.
You just throw them in a trolley and they'll fall asleep.
A trolley.
So I'm going to try as much as I. Yeah.
Stroller.
See, words are hard. So we are going to try to. Did we decide that Thursday was going to be the day that we were going to try to?
Thursday, Maggie's definitely coming down. I think it's because Carrie's talking about getting a full 4-day badge. And we'll probably definitely have all the kids down there Thursday. Possibly more, I don't know yet, but we're going to get grandparents to help during the day. And then the current talk is that Deb was going to come home in the evening and I was going to find somebody to fill her spot. Basically, I'm going to give you a ticket, but you're going to play her character so she gets her credit.
Yeah, kind of.
Technically, they don't have to play her character.
Well, they don't, but they'd have right. They could play a pre-gen.
They
if
could play a
wanted.
pre-gen. They could technically even. Well, no, because you write all your stuff down on a card.
Correct.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They could play pre-gen.
I was just going to offer it to your brother, honestly.
Sure.
So I figured he'd be.
I have to move. I have to send my worship leader a request to move a practice night because I think they're trying to schedule it. If they schedule it for the 1st, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because the 1st is the Wednesday.
Yeah.
But they're talking about making it the 2nd at 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I love you guys.
But,
I take that weekend off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Josh has already taken it.
Well,
He's
and
already
it's not.
blocked it off
I'm
on
not
ours.
doing worship that weekend. But it's literally like a special. They want to do one every month.
Oh,
And we just did one this last week,
Gotcha.
and they're talking about wanting to do the next one on the 2nd, and I'm going to shoot him an email and be like, hey,
don't do this. Or
could
I'll
you
shoot.
please not do this on the 2nd?
On the
Please.
2nd.
Anyways, Deb, sorry.
Well, no, it's that's going to be the struggle is how much time am I going to have to actually do stuff when I have a 6-month-old and a 3.5-year-old, almost 4 years actually.
The 6-month-old's going to be more the concern. I think
Yeah.
Maggie will be there for a day, and then we'll have
Honestly,
grandparents.
from experience,
Mm-hmm.
the 3-year-old is the one that was always a little bit tougher for us because
Right.
they get bored.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is why
The
she only comes for
6-month-old,
one day.
I'm just saying, the 6-month-old, it's
Mm-hmm.
really just about maintenance for your time.
Right.
Like, because he's going to sleep, period, whenever he wants.
Yeah.
He's going to eat whenever he's ready to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Right.
he's not, I mean, he's working on getting into that regulated schedule of sleeping and eating at certain times.
Right. He's still.
But
we're
it's
still
never,
working on that.
yeah, by the time Gen Con comes around, he's not going to have that schedule down.
No.
You know, so it's always.
So we have tickets
yeah.
for me
There
for
you go.
stuff. I mean, we have the tickets for me for the Pathfinder specials if we can make it. We've got, I don't know what else you got for me in there too. There's some other
You're in almost every game I'm in, except for
Right.
I think the high five game.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in the high five game
Well, you
because
might be. I don't know.
I have to take a look and see. You bought this year, so it'll be interesting. In the same way that Fear the Con this year was interesting because I didn't actually attend events at the Fear the Con, and yet I did experience and get to hang out and do some things in St. Louis.
May I
So-
make a suggestion?
And you get a
Yes.
T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good.
Bring milk.
Bring milk. Okay. Bring my own milk. Bring
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
pump and freeze, whatever.
Pub and free. Well, don't worry. We got plenty
gives
in
you-
regards
it
to
gives
that.
you- there you go.
Yeah. So,
Because I know that was definitely an issue in not being able to get away.
yes.
So
Yeah. So it's a. But anyway, it's a. So I hate to say I'm going to be really curious to see what happens next. I'm not really sure how Gen
It'll
Con's
just
gonna
be a different Gen Con experience.
It will.
Next
There'll
year,
probably be
it'll
more of
different again.
Right, wandering around, looking around, probably more as opposed to being in formal events, which is
next year,
not a bad
next
thing.
year Maggie will be 4 and have the mentality of a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
so she can stay home with Sam and watch him.
That'll be fine.
You won't have anything to worry about.
So, but things I'm looking forward to. I'm always looking forward to seeing what's in the exhibit hall. I want to go over and Josh is picking up 4,000 things from Pathfinder, I think, more or less.
No.
Josh was like,
Actually, no. I'm only picking up a couple things from him. So Pathfinder
only
second
3,000.
Only
He's only picking up 3,000.
Sweet.
Pathfinder
Calm down.
Pathfinder second edition playtest is launching at Gen Con. However,
Yes.
I ordered it through Kevin.
Right.
Because he got me 20% off the books.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Fair
and the
enough.
PDFs are going to be free. So normally I order through Paizo, but this time it's different.
So, I mean, wander through the exhibit hall, see if there's any expansions for games that we already have that we want to pick up. Honestly, I'm thinking playtesting is probably going to be my best bets. Being sit down, play a game, half hour, 45 minutes. Okay, I'm good. If he's fussy, all right, I'm done. You know, if I'm having a good time, maybe play through another play, that sort of thing. I think it might be a better flow for it. Maybe go into the new game, the demo room that Mike and Kayla always like going to. Is that it? Not the demo room, the new game room. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's in the corner
Yeah.
of the Maryland Street Hall.
So that might be a place to land to be able to try out some games. But at the same time, hey, my 6-month-old is losing it. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. I'll be able to do that.
Sure.
So it'll be that will be, like I said, it'll be a different flow. And it will be until we have kids that are both old enough to actually be able to join in, say, Pathfinder Junior, or it's not Junior, whatever.
It's
Academy.
Academy.
It's Pathfinder Academy,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
So when another probably year or two, I don't know about next year. Maybe in the next couple of years we get Maggie into Pathfinder Academy. So I want to do that with her eventually. So yeah. So further bulletins as events warrant.
There you go.
Don? As we get close to the end of the episode.
Right. So I would have to say this year is probably going to be, well, this year is definitely going to be different than any year I've gone because Bonnie is getting to the point where she is a little irritated with the way Gen Con keeps getting bigger and bigger and things get more and more expensive, and yet there's nothing more outside of, obviously they're adding buildings to GenCon with like Lucas Oil Stadium, and there's things going on there. But in general, she has the opinion that it's getting a little bit big for their own britches, which is her exact quote. I just want you to know. And you know, I love my wife
for the convention centers.
I love my wife, and I respect her opinion. I don't agree. But that being said, I'm respecting her wishes and allowing her to stay home while I'm at GenCon for 3 days. And so my plan.
So you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and I don't have anything planned outside of Pathfinder exclusives right now, so I'm not really sure what. Don might get lost.
Yeah. You might have to send out.
You might have to send, and you might have to send out a search party
That's exactly
for
what I'm
me
gonna say. If we don't see you,
by Thursday at 7:30. If you haven't heard from me by Thursday at 7:30, send a search party so I can be at my exclusive game.
Let's not have that 5-10 minute late again.
Yeah, right.
No. Send up a flare.
No, I'm really looking forward to. And this will literally be the first Gen Con that my wife and I are not there together. Now, we've been to Gen Cons before where I'm doing something and she's doing something at the same time, but it was always one of those things in the back of my head. I was always like, okay, well, when I'm done with this event, I'll meet up with Bonnie and we'll figure out what we're going to do next, and are we going to play? And it's going to be very different. It's going to be a very different animal now. I have made arrangements with her that I told her that, like we did last year, we went during the day, and then because the boys will be starting school that week, I'm gonna go, and then I will probably leave for a few hours so that I can be at home with Bonnie and the boys for a little bit, and then come back to the exhibit hall for the Pathfinder games. For Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm excited, a little nervous about what's going to happen, but I'm sure I'm probably going to spend. I may actually not even go into the exhibit hall until Sunday because she's going to come with me on Sunday, and we're going to bring the boys and walk around the exhibit hall. So I may wait until Sunday to walk the hall because I know Bonnie's going to want to walk the hall.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And as much as I love Gen Con, I really don't want to walk the hall 14 times.
Yeah.
I'm
and
depending.
end up walking down the same aisle
Yeah.
like 7 of those times. You're like, I wanted a different.
What
How
was
many
that?
times am I going to go down 1100?
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
I may go in on Thursday if there are specific things that I want to get before they possibly sell
Your
out
free
for the
Gen Con
weekend.
die. D6.
Free Gen Con dice, I might do that.
said,
And then I
those
know.
D6s.
I know that the Critical Role folks are going to be there, and being a big fan of Critical Role myself, I'm hoping that I will be able to find them and possibly get a hold of a copy of their. They did a really cool collaboration with Dark Horse where they actually did a comic book or graphic novel, if you will, of their first story arc, which is pre their Twitch stream. And they did 6 issues of these graphic novels, and then when they finished the 6th, they put them all together and made like an omnibus for the first 6. So I am definitely going to be looking for that.
Neat.
We'll see what else happens. I'm not really sure at this point if there's anything else. But
for those who heard the baby cry, Samuel's awake.
Is he actually awake?
oh, I thought that was you.
Oh, thanks.
Downward an hour. So
I'll be back.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing Gen Con with absolutely no plan outside of some Pathfinder games, and no spouse to yell at me for getting lost in the exhibit hall for 4 hours with absolutely no direction. I'm going to be so lost. It's going to be insane, and I'm excited for that. So, all right. So on episode 175, which is the last episode we actually established a fact.
Yeah.
On episode 175 was our Joshy and I's discussion on heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. And for our fact, we established that heroes have the mindset of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Villains have the mindset of the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. And anti-heroes think, the needs of balance outweigh the needs of everything. So that was kind of a fun discussion. Go back and check out episode 175 and 176 and 77 were our PopCon episodes, so definitely check those out as well. On episode 178, our 7th birthday / GenCon 2018 episode, we have established happy birthday! Yay, we're still alive! Thank you guys so much, and we will check you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.
Please visit us at www.theestablishedfacts.com and our Facebook page, facebook.com/theestablishedfacts. If you would like to support us by buying some merchandise, visit cafepress.com/castingrobot.
Bonus.